Here we go. Let's talk a little bit about scalping. You know you love to do it if you're an active trader, and you know it's a profitable strategy for many out there. But I want to talk about one specific aspect of this where it's all about being, let's get back on me. Adara, you know what's up. I know you like scalp trading too, as you're looking at some funware probably, or maybe some DWAC today. But it is all about being flexible, mentally flexible, and taking multiple trades. That's the nature of the game. But we're going to get into one very specific thing that I think can take your scalping to another level, if that happens to be your style. So let's get it out of the way. You guys know scalp trading is about taking those small reactive wins, very, very quick in and outs, as opposed to holding something all day long. It all starts with a premise though. And sometimes the premise is as simple as a key level breaks and then you get into the trade. I'm going to start with something like a Rivian here just to outline when you get a quick move and you just want to grab some profit. So we'll come to the chart. An idea of a scalp trading is $17 was a level. It's a nice flat bottom. It makes a double bottom from yesterday. It breaks down, then you're trading off of this level. You like it short because it broke down. Keep it really simple when you're trying to scalp trade. So it goes into 17, flush, bounce, take one trade, another failure at 17, short it again. Sometimes you're risking 5 cents to make 10, 15. Other times you're risking 10 cents to make 15, 20. The initial move bigger, the moves after a little bit smaller and a little bit tighter. Willing to have a tight stop. So shorted it the third time, and what ended up being the last time, as I'm sitting on the off without a fill, what ended up being the last time was only an 8-cent win to risk 4. So it's all about those quick reactions and ins and outs. We all know that you've got to make the fast decisions to take profit because you're scalping something because you think it can give you multiple entry points and multiple trades. It could be on a key level, it could be on a trend. But the biggest thing I think about scalping is if you've got an idea and a stock that is in play, you've got to be super, super nimble. Like Funware did over 1 billion shares yesterday, as of today, to $360 million at lunchtime. Now you can have all the ideas in the world, but sometimes you've got to be a little bit reactive for a scalp trade opportunity. I did not anticipate how quickly Funware would move to the upside, but once it did this turn, right in here off of aftermarket, there's your offering announced. It made a bounce. It couldn't take out 22.5. Once I see it turn there, I'm just thinking short. I'm thinking short and I'm looking for an entry point. You might say, well, how did you know it was going to turn right at this point? You got to read the tape. You got to look at the level too. Once you have a direction in mind, I might not get to short it off the 22 level. But here, I found a big seller in my direction to trade off of. You're always looking at the level 2 and the time and sales if you're a scalp trading, because you've got to be able to see, okay, it's in a downward trend. I'm looking for entry point. Looks like it topped out there. But unless I saw the big refresher at 20 cents, no chance you're taking that trade and risking it that far. I'm not going to risk 10% on that trade. That's too much. But if I can short it here, 19.8, 19.9, to 20.25, like that is a small, small risk, and then you get a 10% pullback. And you make sure you take profits. Look at the profit out as it rounds out. So hang on to a small bit for the bigger winner. But that is the thing about scalp trading. You cannot just look at the chart, say, there's your wick top, I'm gonna get in there. You've got to find yourself some other entry points. So reading that tape, reading the level 2, we've already talked about refreshers, icebergs. Those become key because if you're in the right direction and the big order jumps in your favor, you've got to be looking at it, thinking that direction, and ready to execute. You've got a few seconds when you notice that seller at 20 to be able to get the short in and then take it. Once those seconds are gone, you already get the flush. It's too late. So you've got to have your hands on the keys in the ready position, almost like a gamer. At the end of the day, speed does matter when you're taking that kind of a trade. I mean, speed matters for a lot of trading, but when you're scalp trading, it's even more important. And the other thing, and it's not that I'm going to sit here and say, hey, that's a winning trade. You also have to be understanding that sometimes you're going to get that miss. Because the same thing, almost a similar thing happened when this got to 24. So I'll show you what can go in the other direction. You got to be willing to take your hit when it's there. I was waiting for a big key level at 24. I was favoring the sell because of the news being negative. I got in and out of that top. I had a scalp trade right into like the previous high was trying to hold on to a piece for the bigger flush. It ran the high. I took my out because I don't want it squeezing on me. I'm not there to risk 5, 10% on that trade because it's a scalp trade. And sometimes you are not fast enough to get back in. But that is something you have to aspire to do. I was looking to re-enter that trade, was not fast enough to get back into the trade. But you've got to be looking, you got to be trying. You might take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 swings at the same level if the stock is trending. And I can tell you from yesterday in Funware, there was a long off here, there was a long in there, there was a long and a long. Missed the tops, but when it was trending to the upside, you had to be taking multiple entry points. Like it's doing 1 billion shares. You want to be long there, you want to be long there. You want to be getting long on each of those consolidation levels because each one of them offers you a new opportunity. Now you might take NVIDIA at 500 and ride it to 520, that's perfectly fine. But when Funware was going from 25 cents to 35 cents, there's like 4 or 5 separate long positions where you can hold a core position. And you've got to make sure you're taking advantage of that liquidity. A lot of it's going to come from reading the tape. You might see a big buyer when it's doing that consolidation, and that's all you need. Risk that half cent, go make 3 or 4. So that's what scalp trading is all about. You can look at the levels on a chart, but you want to make sure you've got that level 2 up to give you another reason to jump in fast. Jump in quick. Take profits aggressively as well. You can always hold yourself a core position. I'll tell you, the best trade for me on Funware wasn't off the level I wanted. It was off size 10% lower, and it still worked because I saw that order flow. I was looking for a short. The second somebody showed up in my favor, you got to be able to jump all over it. That's what scalp trading is about, quickly jumping on those opportunities. So if that's not for you, if you don't want to be glued to a level 2, if you don't want to have your hands on the keyboard as an active trader, which all the traders here, Day Trade of the World, and the seats in behind us, that's what they're doing a lot of the times. If that's not for you, then you shouldn't be scalp trading. Find something a little bit different. Got to be in that ready position at all times. So I hope that helps you guys out there. There's plenty of names that you can look at that are going to move every single day. That's the value of scalp trading. You'll find something that's in play pretty much every single trading day.